The time now, it's 11 o'clock on this Monday, September 15th, 2014. Time now for the Peter Channel News Late Night Report. Monday night, September 15th, 2014. Good evening, everybody. I'm Peter Wiggins here tonight, your Late Night News Report here. And our top story at 11 is in Washington, where the U.S. military on Monday said it conducted its first airstrike in Iraq as part of an expanded mission announced last week by President Barack Obama. A U.S. airstrike near Baghdad Monday marked the new phase of the fight against ISIS. The airstrike southwest of the city appears to be the closest to the United States. Hurricane Idal batters Mexico's resort parks looting as Los Cabos resort hammered by the storm and tourist residents huddle in emergency shelters. In Palestine, Texas, David Cummings and Minnesota Vikings running back Adrian Peterson still talk about frequent weapons Peterson fought in Minnesota, and one weapon in particular. Nearly a dozen wildfires across the state have driven more than 1,000 Californians from their homes and largest wildfire. The Happy Camp Complex fire has burned more than 100,000 acres. Sir Richard Branson has told the BBC that a yes vote in the Scottish referendum could have catastrophic consequences. In Kiev, Ukraine, President Petro Poroshenko on Monday proposed a series of major concessions to end the uprising by pro-Russian rebels in the rest of eastern Ukraine, offering the separatists have brought amnesty and special self-governance status for territories. Istanbul, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan of Turkey said on Monday that several exiled leaders of Egypt's Muslim Brotherhood who fled to Qatar, but lately have come under pressure to leave the Persian Gulf monarchy could perhaps find a new refugee. 4 universities are on the short list of President Obama's library. The future presidential library may be in New York or his home states of Hawaii and Illinois. In Sacramento, California, State Senator Bob White submitted his resignation on Monday after he was sentenced last week to 3 months in jail for lying about when he ran for office. It won't be easy for individual investors to get a piece of Alibaba Group Holdings that as the Chinese internet retail sells up to $24 billion in its shares this week as the most anticipated initial public offering of 2014. The yen rose for a second day of a fallen stock dampened in demand for the currency before Federal Reserve policymakers began a 2-day meeting today. CalPERS, the United States' largest pension system, said on Monday that it has scrapped its hedge fund program and will pull about $4 billion in investments from 30 such funds. Passengers on mainline United Airlines flights can now keep their electronic gadgets turned on flight to flight as long as they are switched to airplane mode. Most Asia stocks fell as Germany shares retreated following a holiday, while Australian bonds paced a rebound in treasuries before the Federal Reserve reviews interest rates. Net neutrality is the idea that all internet content should be treated as equal, even how it's delivered to consumers, a concept that is being debated at the Federal Communications Commission. In Cupertino, more than 4 million pre-orders of the new iPhones were placed in its first days, shattering sales records for Apple and prolonging wait times for its enthusiastic fan base. Apple announced on Monday it will sell its next generation larger screen iPhones in more than 30 countries this month, but one major market is missing from the list: mainland China. Robin Thicke's Further Lines controversy has gotten cloudier, and Thicke confessed that he was high on drugs and alcohol when a hit song he insists is not a rip-off of Marvin Gaye's Gotta Give It Up was written court deposition obtained by the Hollywood. He's back! Outspoken Duck Dynasty family patriarch Phil Robson has a new book out, Unfiltered the Way I See It. In all-time Texas in a battle where the board kept a few stars from putting their best foot forward, but the 19th season premiere of Dancing with the Stars brought plenty of good scores and great moments that involved Cheech and Alfonso Ribeiro, best known as Colton and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, has a strong start in the 19th season premiere. House of Leaders salute honor student who became Miss America. Europe's Rosetta mission team, which aims to land on a 4-kilometer while comet later this year, has identified what they think is the safest place to land on a small robot craft. A Chinese surgeon which was injured and rescued earlier awaits its release into Yangtze River in Shanghai. The government is failing to reduce any air pollution, protect biodiversity, and prevent flooding across party body of a piece said. The Environmental Audit Committee has dished out a red card to those concerns after examining efforts made since 2010. Apple's Health Kit is one of the most exciting aspects of iOS 8, but when it launches its apps, focus will be mainly on fitness rather than long-term health. Schizophrenia is not a single disorder, but rather a group of 8 distinct disorders, each caused by changes in gene clusters that led to the different symptoms, according to a study published online in September. Taking a look at local news, the virus known as Enterovirus D68 that has second thousands of kids and sent dozens of the hospitals throughout the country now hit the New England region with some cases in Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts. Prosecutors said the allegation came from the Russian government, which suspended the investigators as the Czarnet lawyers denied claims that they posed as FBI employees. Swampscott school officials say that Hadley Elementary School in the town is falling apart with the walls crumbling. The neighbor at the Blackstone woman who had a squalid home went to the house and called it a squalid and called police who also visited the home 29 times before, making a horrific discovery. Supermarket changed the law to the television ad to try to persuade voters to reject the ballot question to expand the bottle bill in Massachusetts. 3 people, including a guard, have been charged in an alleged scheme to smuggle drugs to inmates at the Susan Baranowski Correctional Center in Shirley. Brandon Beach, a guard at the prison, was charged with conspiring with an inmate and his mother to get heroin and cocaine to inmates according to the Middlesex District Attorney's Office. And Sandra Master, 69, and Paul Weaver, and her son, Robert Page, 51, have been an inmate at the prison and also been charged. Lawyers for Stephen Ziegler, who was sentenced to life without parole for raping and killing a University of New Hampshire student. In a statement released by the hospital Monday, Rick Secretary's wife, Deborah still gets tired easily but improving after the doctor was diagnosed with Ebola. And prosecutors say new DNA tested ties with Dwayne McNair added him to 2 rapes that took place in 2004. Take a look at New England News alerts at Surrey, New Hampshire. A late commercial fire at 35 Maple Street as still heavy fire with 2-letter towers and number plus N lines in use. The companies are heavily engaged. Here. Okay, let's take a look at the traffic situation at 11:06. Okay, let's take a look at our map situation. Okay, take a look at the traffic situation here at 11:07. And everything's smooth sailing highways and byways in New England except for a few slow spots here, which is which is in Greater Boston, where Route 1 on the northbound side, a little slow from the Lever Connector all the way up to the Tobin Bridge. Here, due to some road work here. Callan Tunnel on the northbound side, a little slow. Mass Pike on the westbound side, a little slow from South Boston, also slow from the Pike down to the Poo Tunnel here. And 93 on the northbound side, a little slow in the Wilmington stretch here, due to some road work here, but otherwise a good, smooth sailing commute on this Monday night. And let's take a look at our weather outlook. Take a look at the weather here. Our current conditions here in North Massachusetts, 46 degrees on temperature with fair skies. Humidity 96%. Wind speed is calm. Barometer 11 inches and dew point about 45 degrees and invisibility of 10 miles. Okay, our current conditions here in around the region here. 57 degrees of temperature right now in Boston. When you get it out of the suburbs, that's 49 in Bedford. 52 in Beverly and Fitchburg, 53 in Gloucester and Haverhill, 52 in Worcester, 50 in Webster, 54 in Milford, 49 in Sturbridge, it's 47 in Norwood, and in Taunton, 51 in Bedford, it's 54 in Plymouth, 54 in Falmouth, 53 in Chatham, 57 in Provincetown, 46 in Martha's Vineyard, 59 in Nantucket, 61 in Cape Cod Bay, 60 in Boston Harbor, 57 in Block Island, 53 in Wesley, it's 52 in Smithfield, 65 in New York City, 62 in Islip, 59 in Montauk, 65 in Long Island Sound, and in Bridgeport and New Haven, 54 in Danbury and Waterbury, 52 in New Britain, it's 56 out in Hartford and Winslow, it's 54 in Springfield, 54 in Amherst, 55 out in Greenfield, 50 in Pittsfield and North Adams, Massachusetts, it's 56 in Albany, New York, it's 52 in Bennington, 49 in Brattleboro, Vermont, it's 52 in Keene, Hampshire, 49 in Jaffna, Hampshire, 51 in Concord, Hampshire, 52 in Manchester, Hampshire, 52 in Nashville, Hampshire, 54 in Portsmouth, and 53 up in Portland, Maine. Here. Okay, take a look at a map situation. It's stationary front off the Texas coastline, stretching down to the Gulf States and out to sea. Here, merging with the cold front, moving out to sea. Here, and a stationary front from Wyoming, stretching down on Colorado, and the cold front from New Mexico, stretching in Oklahoma down from Missouri, and a warm front down the Ohio Valley. Here, and a cold front up in Manitoba, up in Northern Ontario, and a front bank from Michigan up in Quebec. Here, and a front bank from Southwest Oregon down to Northern California. Here. And let's take a look at high pressure off the New England coastline, western North Carolina, southern South Dakota, and southeastern portions of Oklahoma. We'll get some low pressure in southeastern California and off the Carolina coastline here. In southern Illinois here. 61 degrees at temperature right now. In Pittsburgh, it's 70 out in Washington, D.C., 74 in Atlanta, 83 in Miami. It is 77 in Brownsville, 82 in Dallas, Texas. It's 59 in Kansas State, 53 in Omaha, Nebraska. It's 54 in Minneapolis, 57 in Chicago, 60 in Detroit, 69 in Great Falls, Montana, 85 in Seattle, 73 in San Francisco, 85 in Los Angeles, 100 degrees in Phoenix, 72 in Albuquerque, 68 in Denver, and 86 in Salt Lake City. It's 97 degrees at temperature right now out in Vegas. There. Okay, take a look at our IntelliCast radar here. And zoom you out. Zoom you out. And it shows a lot of rain showers from Quebec, stretching down for eastern Ontario up into northern New Hampshire and Vermont, and around New York State down for Pennsylvania and up to Ohio, and seeing some spotty rain showers from Ohio Valley down from much of Kentucky, Tennessee, down for the Carolinas, down for Georgia, and down for the Gulf States, and down for Texas, and stretching to the New Mexico and Arizona, up into Colorado, and Wyoming, and in line of rain showers in southeastern and west coast of Oregon near. And in front of my rain showers off the Gulf of California here. Take a look at our satellite loop here, and it shows a line of clouds covering much of the eastern portion of the region, stretching it down for the Gulf States and around Texas and down for southern Arizona, New Mexico, and covering much of Mexico, and a line of clouds from eastern Oregon and Washington State down for the north central Idaho, and stretching it at the sea, and a line of clouds covering from British Columbia and stretching it out to Alberta down to central Saskatchewan and Manitoba up to Ontario, middle Quebec here. And let's take a look at what is going on with Edward here. The latest on Edward here, it's 110 miles per hour. It's 110 miles per hour with a movement northwest about 30 miles per hour. Central location 29.0 in the north, 56.9 in the west here. In public advisory here, and it shows Edward turning towards the northwest and forecast to become a major hurricane on Tuesday. Location 29.0 in the north, 56.9 in the west, about 520 miles, 840 kilometers east southeast of Bermuda, and maximum same winds about 110 miles, about 175 kilometers an hour present movement. Northwest about 335 degrees at 13 miles, about 20 kilometers an hour, and a minimum central pressure 963 millibars at 20.44 inches here. And no coastal watch waters effect at 11 o'clock Atlantic time. UTC, the center of Hurricane Edward was located near latitude 229.0 to the north, longitude 56.9 in the west. Edward is moving toward the northwest near 13 miles by 20 kilometers an hour to turn toward the north expected by early Monday, followed by a northeastward trend with increasing forward speed by Tuesday. Back to staying winds mean near 110 miles by 175 kilometers with higher wind gusts. Additional rate is expected during the next day. So Edward is forecast to become a major hurricane on Tuesday. Wickedness should be commenced on Wednesday. Hurricane force winds extend outwards up to 45 miles per 75 kilometers from the center. Tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 175 miles, 28 kilometers. The estimated minimum central pressure 963 millibars or 28.44 inches here. And take a look at the latest on Odile here. Now trouble storm here. With 26.6 to the north, 112.1 to the west, and maximum same winds 65 miles per hour. Movement northwest about 13 miles per hour here. In public advisory, the latest on Odile here. Now a tropical storm as of 11 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 o'clock Eastern time here. Odile weakens to a tropical storm and still produces some heavy rains and flooding here. And location 26.6 in the north, 112.1 in the west, about 6 miles, 95 kilometers northwest of Laredo, Mexico, and present movement northwest about 340 degrees at 13 miles, about 20 kilometers an hour. Minimum central pressure 990 millibars with 29.24 inches here. The government of Mexico has changed the hurricane warning to a tropical storm warning for the west coast of Baja California, served from Cabo San Lazaro to Puerto Cabrillo, and for the east coast of Baja California, served from Sending visitors to Santa Brazil and the government of Mexico discontinued the tropical warning for mainland Mexico suffered Tupolamo, and summary watches and warnings in effect at tropical warning in effect for the west coast of the Baja Peninsula from Cabo San Lazaro to San Jose de la Palmas, the east coast of the Baja Peninsula from San Silvestre to Baja de Los Angeles, and mainland Mexico from the Tupolamo and to Bahia Quino, and tropical storm warnings to effect for the west coast of the Baja Peninsula north of the San Jose de Los Palmas to Cabo San Quentin, the east coast of the Baja Peninsula from the north of Baja de Los Angeles to San Felipe, and mainland Mexico from the north of Baja Quino to Puerto Libertad, and interested elsewhere in the Baja California Peninsula should have north ports of Mexico should monitor the pockets of the for storm information specific to your area. Please monitor it. Product issued by National Meteorological Service. Here at 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 300 UTC, the Central Tropical Storm was located in latitude 26.6 in the north, longitude 12.1 in the west, and Dells toward the northwest near 13 miles per 20 kilometers an hour, and toward the north and northeast with a decrease in force speed expected over the next couple of days on. The forecast director said it would continue to move over the Baja California Peninsula for Tuesday and moving over to the northern and Gulf of California on Wednesday. Maintain winds at victory increasing to 65 miles per 100 kilometers an hour with higher gusts. An additional weakening in this forecast during the next 48 hours. And Odell is likely to become a tropical depression by early Wednesday, and tropical force winds extend out to 160 miles, 260 kilometers from the center. That's the minimum set pressure is 99 millibar, so 29 to 24 inches. And the wind, tropical storm condition is spread northward over the portions of the tropical storm warning area by Tuesday morning. Here, tropical storm condition is possible within the tropical storm watch area by Tuesday afternoon. It should be noted that the wind speed is stopping on the windward side of hills and mountains, so it's often up to 30% stronger than indicated in this advisory. And then in some elevated conditions, the locations can be even greater in storm surge, and a storm surge could still produce some significant coastal flooding in areas of onshore winds, and near the coast, the surge will be coming by in larger destructive waves, and in rainfall, it is expected to produce rainfall amounts of 6 to 12 inches of say maximum amounts of when 18 inches across much of the Baja California Peninsula. Fighting these rains are likely to result in dark and flash floods and mudslides, and rainfall amounts of 2 to 4 inches are possible along coastal portions of the Mexican states, and in Sinaloa and surf swells from the Idal will be affected portions of the southwestern coast of Mexico during the next couple of days, and are affecting portions of the Baja California Peninsula and the southern and central Gulf of California. These swells likely cause light threatening and surf with current conditions. Please consult products from your local and national weather office there. And the latest on what is going on. You got 2 more tropical disturbances. It's an 80% chance of becoming a formation in 48 hours. It's again low pressure system located 700 miles southeast of Acapulco, Mexico. It is produced with large areas, showers, and thunderstorms, and conditions are protected for development. And this disturbance is likely to become a tropical depression during the next day or 2, while it moves slowly toward the west, northwest, and northwest. Formation chance 4 hours, high 80%. Formation chance 5 days, high 90%. And take a look at tropical disturbance number 2. Here, it's a 20% chance of cyclone formation 48 hours, and clouded and thunderstorms associated with a small area of low pressure located about 400 miles east-southeast of the Big Island of Hawaii, become slightly better organized. Some gradual development of this system is possible during the next several days while the low moves slowly northwestward. Formation chance 4 hours, low 20% formation chance 5 days, medium about 30%. Here, okay, let's take a look what is going on. Central Pacific, and we got a 10% chance of areas of showers and thunderstorms instead of about 950 miles southeast of Hilo, Hawaii, and these are low potential for development of the system as it moves west slowly in the formation chance 4 hours, low 10% of elsewhere. No tropical cyclones expected by Wednesday afternoon. Here, and let's take a look what is going on in the forecast discussion around the country. Here, fall-like weather across much of the nation. The moisture increases for the desert to southwest this weekend. Scattered showers and storms off of the Gulf Coast and along surface areas. Controlling the weather pattern across much of the country, with many states enjoying quality fall-like conditions. And with a surface high pressure covering most of the central and eastern parts of the United States, the majority of locations during this forecast should be enjoy cool and dry weather. Things would be different for the desert southwest by the middle of the week, with moisture and an increase again. Daily showers and storms expected each day from Arizona to western Texas, and monsoonal moisture flowing northward from Mexico and Medina. Great importance that moisture associated with the Hurricane Idal will be an issue for later in the week. And a warm and humid air mass near the Gulf Coast and Florida, there will be scattered showers and thunderstorms during the afternoon hours, and local heavy rainfall will be possible in areas of where convective activity persists, and the showers are likely across parts of the Great Lakes region and the northeast United States and an upper level toward Axis moves toward the region here. Forecast discussion around the country here. Now around the region here, a cold front will sweep across southern New England, bringing the chance of showers. Showers begin after midnight tonight for Tuesday. Bam, drive a cooler weather. And normal weather follows Wednesday for Saturday. Temperatures then moderate to near normal by the end of the weekend here. And new term until 10 p.m. update. No major adjustment to be made with this update either. Primary change was to be increased cloud cover across the area as high clouds are already spilling in parts of the region from the west with this band. Also have increased both hourly and minimum temperatures as well as dew points with a bit of this update and increased clouded covers and slight uptick in dew points is likely to mitigate cooling tonight in comparison to the previous cool night otherwise. Forecast attracting cooling pops toward daybreak. And in it tonight, a fall like chill. Remains there as scattered broken pancake cumulus clouds linger across the sky. Should see present high temperatures around the upper 60s drop towards the low 60s by sundown. And tonight into Tuesday, modest mud level impulse will buck weak true as it runs the base of the deep low over the New England Canadian Maritimes and northeast Canadian Maritimes. Consider low level convergence of a continental moist air mass and go to mid level enhanced descent cloud located with a region of provides the genetical forcing and right entrance region with the upper level and jet would have scattered light to moderate shower activity along the line ahead of a surface curl front. The latest HRRR has shown such a trend fairly well across the eastern Great Lakes by midnight Tuesday. But a few things were to note. Not impressively, most air mass with parts of 1 inch to 1.25 inches subsidence and dry air continues to prevail. Southeast squeeze between the approach and mid-level impulse of offshore. Subtropical axis spoken by the meandering Hurricane Edouard. Absolutely cool for the first time in the year. Over and up to the region, the low cover considered thunder and instability. So in the not go over the mid to the thunder and not expect washout. We'll keep that scattered pops toward the west side, especially along the slope side of the terrain. We'll take the shed pots off towards the southeast as it covers the dynamics. The disturbance shift to the northeast is shunting the surface cold front into the region of subsidence and dry air elsewhere. Expecting around in 10-minute areas of western New England with a few hundred across east, central, east, and may not see precipitation whatsoever east. In southern Massachusetts here. Take a look at our weather notes here. Average high for Boston, 73 degrees and average low, 58 degrees and highs today range from 62 to 70 degrees. And the water temperature is 61 degrees and dew points of 40s and 50s overnight, leading to a clear and cold night in store and a cool morning in store. In Boston, Worcester gets some showers around 1 p.m. and tomorrow's highs here. We could see 64 to 72 degrees around the region, and a pollen level will be low tomorrow here. And timing. And I believe the shot is going to be get out of here by about. Okay, let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. It goes like this here. For over 9 hours, most of the coast got low 49 degrees and calm wind. Tuesday, chance of showers mainly before noon. Most of the coast got high near 71 degrees and calm wind becoming west about 5 to 7 miles per hour in the morning. Chance of precipitation 30%. Tuesday night, most of the coast got gradually becoming clear sky low 46 degrees and calm wind becoming northwest about 5 miles after midnight. Wednesday, south sky due to 70 degrees, northward about 5 miles becoming calm in the morning here. Wednesday, most of the coast got low 46 degrees and calm wind. Thursday, south sky due to 70 degrees. Friday night, most of the coast got low 44 degrees. Friday, south sky due to 63 degrees. Friday night, most of the coast got low 43 degrees. Saturday, most of the south sky due to 69 degrees. Saturday night, podcast got low 53 degrees. Sunday, most of the south sky due to 76 degrees. Saturday night, most of the coast got low 58 degrees. And for Monday, chance of showers, part of the south sky due to 73 degrees and chance of rain to 30%. Take a look at Peter's What a Phrase of the Day at Showery Tuesday in Store. Peter, channel news time is now 11:25 here, and take a look at sports roundup here on this Monday night. And the Red Sox had tonight off, and tomorrow they are going to begin a 3-game series against the Pittsburgh Pirates in Pittsburgh on tomorrow night with Anthony Ronaldo on mound for the Red Sox, while Vince Rolling on the mound for the Pittsburgh Pirates here. Okay, other scores around the majors here. San Diego Padres lead the Philadelphia Phillies 1-0 in the top of the fifth. In the top of the third, Los Angeles Angels lead the Seattle Mariners 4-0 in the top of the third. Bottom of the sixth, Arizona Diamondbacks lead the San Francisco Giants 4-0 here. Los Angeles Dodgers lead the Colorado Rockies 11-3 in the top of the sixth. Detroit Tigers lead the Minnesota Twins 8-6 in the bottom of the ninth. Chicago White Sox lead the Kansas City Royals 3-2 in the bottom of the ninth. Baltimore over Toronto 5-2. Miami nipped New York Mets 6-5. Washington over Atlanta 4-2. Tampa Bay blanking New York Yankees 1-0. Chicago Cubs lead the Cincinnati Reds 1-0, and then the Houston Astros lead the Cleveland Indians 3-1 in the final here. And take a look at the Major League Baseball standings there. Take a look at the Major League Baseball standings here. Take a look at the American League East here, and it shows Baltimore Orioles and American League East have run away with this American League East. As they have a 12.5 game lead on the Toronto Blue Jays in the American League East. And the Baltimore Orioles, if they win tomorrow night against the Toronto Blue Jays, then they will be American League East champions as tomorrow night if they win. In the American League Central, the Detroit Tigers have a 1.5 game lead on the Kansas City Royals for first place in the American League Central here, and the Cleveland Indians at 76 and 73 with 5.5 games beyond the wild card. And the Los Angeles Angels in the West are one away in the West. 10 game lead on the Oakland A's for first place in the American League West there. And in the National League East, the Washington Nationals have an 11.5 game lead on Atlanta Braves for first place in the National League East. And the magic number for the Washington Nationals to clinch the National League East is 2. And in the National League Central, St. Louis Cardinals have a 3.5 game lead on Pittsburgh Pirates for first place in the National League Central. In the National League West, the Los Angeles Dodgers have a 3-game lead on the San Francisco Giants for first place in the National League West there. And wild card there. If the season were to end tonight, then the Los Angeles Angels will get the 1 seed, the Baltimore Orioles get the 2 seed, and the Detroit Tigers will get the 3 seed here. And the wildcard teams will be Kansas City, Oakland for a spot to play the Los Angeles Angels in the divisional playoffs in the American League. National League here, Washington Nationals have the 1 seed, Los Angeles Dodgers the 2 seed, and St. Louis Cardinals the 3 seed. In Pittsburgh Park, San Francisco Giants play a wildcard for the right to meet the Washington Nationals in the National League divisional playoffs. So the playoffs will end tonight. Take a look at Monday Night Football out in Indianapolis, Indiana. And it is a barn burner out in Indianapolis here with 3:25 left in the fourth quarter here. Philadelphia Eagles and Indianapolis Colts deadlocked at 27-27 apiece here. Minnesota Vikings running back Adrian Peterson is being reinstated in expected play Sunday against the Saints. A second incident involving Adrian Peterson allegedly occurred in June 2013, according to the report. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell sent a memo to every team in the league Monday detailing the creation of a position in the league's front office that will help shape NFL policies on domestic violence and sexual assault. Jacob DeGrom worked 6 close innings and left after 7 with a 2-run lead and 13 strikes overall as the Mets fall to the Miami Marlins. Here, Tiger Woods expected to return to competitive golf during a charity tournament in Orlando in December, and Woods revealed his plans during a press conference Monday announcing the Hero World Challenge to be played at Hasselworth Country Club on December 4th to 7th. Philadelphia Phillies coach Jonathan Papelbon received a 7-game suspension Monday after making a lewd gesture to fans in Philadelphia on Sunday when he was booed for allowing 4 runs in the 9th inning. The Los Angeles Dodgers are hoping that no news is good news on Korean left-hander Hyun Jae Woo's ailing left shoulder. Ryu re-injured his shoulder in the first game of the 7th physical series on Friday evening before the first inning in the Dodgers' 9-0 loss to the Giants. Here, and the Baltimore Orioles moved the brink of claiming their first AL East title in 17 years. Years of resilient pitching performance by Wei Yin Chen to beat the Toronto Blue Jays 5-2 on Monday night. The Indianapolis coach Jack Tough having a touchdown against the Eagles in the first half Monday. As Chicago Bears Charles Tillman after the season with an arm injury. The Brooklyn Nets Deron Williams limping off the court last season and bone chipping and Spurs have been removed. Detroit Red Wings forward Daniel Alfredson will most likely miss training camp, says a report coming from the Detroit Free Press. The side judge during Sunday night's game between the San Francisco 49ers and Chicago Bears called a 15-yard penalty on the Niner quarterback for inappropriate language displayed after further inspection to Kyle Fuller. Robert Griffin III was one of the most notable injuries in Week 2 of the NFL. Among the others were Deshaun Jackson, Deshaun Marino, and AJ. It's a play that has generally gone after the Patriots' 37 win over the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday, coming between Devin McCourty's 60-yard interception return and Chandler Jones' 58-yard return, a blocked field goal and a touchdown. And Atlanta, Steven Strasburg threw 7 close innings and a long run of frustration against Atlanta as the Nationals beat the struggling Braves 4-2 on Monday night to move to the Virgin National League East title. And Indianapolis Colts defensive lineman Alfred Jones will not return to Monday night's game against Philadelphia. He was carted off the field after his right leg appeared to be get second to third at midway, fought the second quarter, then taking an X-rays. And Seattle's coach Pete Carroll said he'd like to report to the team Monday, a day after the Seattle's 30-21 loss to San Diego. We don't take this easily, he said. As the Seahawks will make the fixes here. And it looks like the Indianapolis Colts and the Philadelphia Eagles game is going into overtime with 3 seconds left in the fourth quarter and a 27-27 score here. And that's just in a score update here. The Philadelphia Eagles defeat the Indianapolis Colts at the Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, 30-27 as Steve Parkey kicks a 36-yard field goal to win the game for the Eagles here. And that's going to be it for the sport for the Peter Channel News, weather and sports on this Monday night. Spending 15 2014 PJ with you. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Good night. Oh.